Hi, I want to introduce you to one of my superstar students. This is one of the best students I've ever had the opportunity to coach because she has a great disability, but she has achieved so much. She is a true example of what you can achieve when you forget about all of your past traumas, all of the things that you don't have, and you focus on what you can actually achieve. Jennifer is an amazing entrepreneur from Austin, Texas that has properties in other states and just did a joint partnership with me here in Florida. I am so excited to introduce you to Jennifer of 𝗡𝐻𝐻 Enterprises, a bright and new entrepreneur who has real estate, is growing, and has a mission that you will not believe. Stay tuned, watch this entire video because you will learn so much from this superstar student. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. You gotta get it done, or you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
I am so excited to be here. Literally, we have Master Coach KJ Steer, who has flown to Austin, Texas to be with superstar student Jennifer 𝗡𝐻𝗡𝗹𝗹𝗀. So welcome, you guys. I'm so excited that we were able to connect like this. Welcome, welcome.
It's awesome.
Hey, how we doing today?
All right, so we're just gonna have a conversation. This is not like an interview, but kind of it is, because I'm so interested in Jennifer's story. And now that you, KJ, because this is like a first for us. So let me be clear. This is kind of a first where a coach is actually traveling to a student. Usually our students travel to us, but we are starting, a program and a process where we're going to be visiting our students. So Jennifer 𝗡𝐻𝗡𝗹𝗃, congratulations. You're like the first student that we really got to visit on site, and I'm so excited. You are perfect, the perfect candidate. You're amazing. So I'm excited to talk to you and let you share your story. So tell me first though about Austin, Texas, because I used to actually invest in Austin, Texas. I used to live in the domain, literally lived in the domain area of Austin, and absolutely love Austin. So tell me about Austin. Tell us about Austin.
Okay, well, Austin is an awesome place, and it's a really vibrant city, and it's a good place to be if you have a disability, because we've made a lot of progress through the years as a result of people's activism and engagement in the community. So you see a lot more just constant evolution from the disability community because we've been able to remove barriers. But one area that's kind of lacking is single family homes. And that's what's so great about the concept of visitability. Many years ago, we started visitability in Austin as a small type of project that we only did for stuff that was built with federal and local funding. So then we expanded it to the building code. So now everything that's single family is supposed to be built with as a visitable property. But we're not always sure that people are complying with it, but it is expanding more and more, and we have more and more units that are visitable. But my goal and my dream is to expand it into places that don't have it quite yet or don't know exactly how to do it on a wide scale. Because the reason it's called visitability is so like people like you and I can visit one another. If we're neighbors or friends, you want to be able to get into the unit and enjoy the basic, simple features of it, like being able to get in or go to the bathroom,
Right. And it's so funny when you brought that up, Jennifer. I promise you, all these different years in real estate, out of all of these years, I've seen different people kind of cater properties to different people. But now that we're into the short-term rentals, you really brought a new idea to me and my group, and we were super excited. So you kind of explained what visibility is. Thank you, because I don't think most people know that. So go into that a little bit more. Like you said, the disability community in Austin is very vibrant. We know Austin for the University of Texas and, 6th Street. Tell us about, though, the disability community and how tight-knit and the resources. Tell me about that stuff. Stop. You are watching a very important conversation on our podcast, but let me tell you about another very important cause, children's illiteracy. The Marley Sims Foundation is my nonprofit organization, and this episode is sponsored by the Marley Sims Foundation. We are committed to combating children's illiteracy because A child that cannot read by the third grade is 3 times more likely not to graduate from high school and 10 times more likely to go to prison. We have got to start doing our part and start fighting children's illiteracy and get our kids reading. Please donate at marleysins.org and you can get this free t-shirt just to show your support and help us fight children's illiteracy. It is so important. This is a serious conversation, so let's get back to it.
Well, the group that I know and that I am active with is called ADAPT, and we do a lot of direct action activism, the traditional MLK style where you don't get what you want, you might protest and get arrested and good stuff like that. But I had an opportunity, to kind of reinvent my life and make some changes because my wheelchair broke down and I was having trouble getting it replaced, especially during COVID. Everything kind of slowed down to a crawl and it got harder and harder to live. So I was like, well, how am I going to make money? Because I don't know if you realize this, I'm sure you do, but the more resources you have, the easier things are. And that's true for a person with a disability too. So if you're wise and you try to build a support system for yourself, and it makes it just easier to navigate. So what I'm trying to do in my personal life is build a support system so that when I need home health services or I need a working wheelchair, that I'll have the financial resources to be able to do that and keep myself safe and healthy, all that good stuff. But also to expand that to other people, because I don't want it just to benefit me. I want my business to be beneficial to others. And I want to be able to build communities that integrate individual people. And that's how you make a community. The sense of self and the sense of community are intertwined. And when you have a healthy sense of community, you have a healthy sense of self. And that's what I want my investment to be in, not just to sticks and bricks, but
I love it. So you said 2 different things there that I want to just go into, and we can really dive into this. So first question I have, though, is, if you don't mind sharing, have you always been in a wheelchair your entire life, or did you come at a certain age? Kind of talk to me about how you met with the disability.
Well, I was born with my disability, but then a few years back, I also was injured. So it kind of made it a little bit more complex, and I needed a little bit more help. And in order to do the things that I needed to do and to be able to continue to be active, it meant that I had to change things a little bit. And so now, because I have a little bit of a nest egg, I was able to reevaluate. And when I was stuck in the house because of COVID and because of the wheelchair being broken, I was like, well, how do I do this? And I started looking on YouTube, and that's how I found you. And you broke it down and made it really simple. And I'm like, well, I can do that. It doesn't sound so hard to be able to, because I built my credit. I had to do one of those things where you do the secured credit card, and you eventually show that you're a good investment. So then my credit's really good. And I went to Bank of America and I'm like, hey, I'm going to use my nest egg and I'm going to start a business. And they were like, here, have a credit card, try this out. And that's how I started the business. I went and got my LLC, and slowly from there, I was approached by a dear friend, and she asked me for help to find a creative solution so she can get a home for her babies. And so that's what we did. We found a creative way to finance a home for her and her kids. And she and multiple generations of her family are living there. And it's really kind of great because she's a young African-American woman and the banks wouldn't loan to her. And I know how that feels because the banks weren't really wanting to loan to me either. So I was like, well, we can get around that. We don't need a bank. We have each other. So that's what we did, basically.
I love that. Oh, I love that. I love that. So you said, though, you came and you had a little nest egg and you wanted to grow it. You wanted to invest in something that it could grow, but also help other people. And so your first investment was, I'm assuming, the one you're talking about now with the rental property and getting with your tenant. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, the first one was the one that I just told you about, and I'm looking for the second one. We're going to work together to find the second one. Second one's been a little harder, you know, you got to find just the right property to be able to make it visible. So it has to fit. The community has to fit as well. So I'm glad that we're working on it together.
I love it. I love it. So let's go to Jennifer's business. First of all, what is the name of your LLC? Tell everyone the name of your business.
My business name is 𝗡𝗢𝗃 Enterprises, and I named it because it's my family name, and I wanted to honor my parents because part of the nest egg that I took was the proceeds from selling my mom and dad's house when they passed away. So I wanted to be able to honor them, and I knew that if they had still been alive, they would have been thrilled about it. And, you know, they have a tendency to like make everything that I do seem really, really awesome. And so I knew they would be excited. Like when I volunteered, I used to volunteer for the Democratic Party. They used to tell me, they're not doing it right. You go tell them that they need to fix this or they need to fix that. Or they would tell me, when you're down at City Hall, tell somebody to do this or fix this for so-and-so. So they had like, they never understood, like I might have been at the entry level of politics, but they thought that I could just call up the president and fix it. So like, I like the fact that they think that I'm capable of just about.
I too think that you're amazing as well. And I am not your mom or your dad. So I too find you to be incredible in all of that you do. So amazing. It really is. And I don't think you're giving yourself the credit. Like, okay, so you made 𝗡𝗢𝗃 Enterprises, okay? It's in your family's, you know, their legacy, your generation, and you're going to, you know, investing in real estate. And so, like, you know, but like I said, most people, you know this, Jennifer, most people that have any sort of disability, they don't, how do I say that, you know, it's like the big thing that you do, they don't often do. Why is that? And what inspired you to kind of be so bold?
Well, it is complicated because the more you gain, the more you lose. And what I mean by that is most of the stuff that people, the support services that people need to be independent, that's means tested. So it matters how much money you make. So that was another reason why I did real estate, because you can make passive income and you won't lose your insurance and things like that. But right. Good point. Good point. So, you know, I want to build the type of business that other people can follow the model, you know, so they don't have to be scared, because it is scary. You know, my rent did go up. I did lose a few things, but the things that I lost in comparison to what I gained was so much more.
And that's a good point. Let's talk about that if you're comfortable, because that's like a real thing for people. Like you said, you may be disabled, or you have a disability, and you get benefits, or you get a check, or you get some type of resource. And so that almost in some cases, for some people, is a deterrent for them to start their own business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time, like during COVID, I tried to get like side business, you know, side work from another company. And the more that I made, the more I lost. Like my rent went up, you know, the cost of living in general went up because of COVID. So it was complex, and I probably lost more by working more, but I needed to feel engaged. And especially during COVID, it was a very isolating time. Nobody was seeing each other at all. And it was just complicated. And I know that I'm better off when I'm active. My brain needs to be active. I need to do something.
Agreed.
So I was like, well, I need to figure this out. And I took a few bumps and bruises, and I had to learn, you know, passive income is better. So encourage people to do what they got to do to make a passive income and try to get themselves in a better space.
So that's another great point. So you say, okay, I'm going to be bold. I'm going to work more. And that's fulfilling for me. And it's funny because, you know, it's twofold. You know what I mean? You don't want to say, well, if you're not doing these things, you're a bad person. You know what I mean? But at the same time, there's so much more inside of you. So what was kind of like inside of you that said, I'm going to risk it, even if I lose some of my benefits, even if I lose, my rent goes up, I want to just grow my wealth. I don't care.
Well, I started to feel like there's no reason, because one of the things that happened to me during COVID is I got robbed and I got mad. I was like, forget you. I'm getting a better life. I'm gonna build it. And it's been slow. You know how it is when you're first starting out in business.
Yeah.
The HVAC went out. That cost me money. The blah, 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 all this stuff. And I love that I'm paying taxes, but also, ooh, you know.
Tell me about it, girl. We'd be here all day if I thought we start talking about paying income taxes. But you're right. There is a pull. And I can honestly say, and that's why I love this conversation. I think this is real. And a lot of people are going to relate. I don't often share that, but it truly is like, you know, as you grow your wealth, you no longer qualify for discounts on insurance, for example. You know, like Obamacare, I didn't qualify for it. There's certain things that it almost kind of pulls you back to maybe I shouldn't go so big. Did you have those thoughts? Did you struggle with that at all?
I did. I still do occasionally. Like I'm like, how do I navigate this? What happens if this happens, or if something else goes out on the house? Because I love that house and I love the little family, and I would take a bullet for that family and those babies. But also, when the HVAC went out, there goes my profit for the whole year. You know how that is. So
yes, absolutely.
And and then the second property has been really hard to find. It's been difficult to find another place to land. But that's what's so great about the project that we're doing, because y'all are going to help me kind of navigate and watch out for some of the holes. And it can be complex. So I'm not gonna diss anybody for having that fear, but I do know if you don't try something, you are not going to succeed unless you try. You may fail, but at least you'll learn. And if you build a community around you, like we've done together, then it lessens the chance of failure, which is great. I mean, it's awesome. The service that y'all provide is a huge gift. It's a blessing. And building my wealth is not just so I can have more things, but it's so that I can survive.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about next on horizon for Jennifer. So we're looking for more properties. Obviously, we're really, Noelle Randall Coaching, we're really behind you with this visitable property things. I make no qualms about that. I love this idea. I think it fits to what you said, blue ocean, where there's not a lot of people in that space. You know what I mean? It's a great space in real estate. I think it's a great space in the world for so many other things, but of course for real estate, because like you said, even just, no, they're not, you don't have to transform the entire property, but you can transform it where someone in a wheelchair can visit. And that is it's funny how it never occurred to me when I am in this vacation rental business, and I never so much thought of it. And you came with that idea. And so was that something that you were always thinking that you wanted to do? Or when you got into the program, it kind of opened your mind up to that idea?
No, I knew I wanted to do it. I didn't know how to scale it. Like I thought, what am I doing just by doing just one property at a time? That's not the concept. The concept is to make the entire neighborhood accessible or visitable. And the part that is a little bit confusing for me, because until recently, I didn't have any financial resources. So I'm learning on the job. And that's the part that gets scary. Because, what the hell do I know? I'm just moving along, trying to have this adventure. And that's what's so great about the coaching service, is that you can teach me and I can learn, and there's not as much scary risk. And so when we work together, what I want to try to do is scale it so that we can expand it and spread it all over, and maybe even teach others how to do it. Like we do that investment group, and then we can teach other people how to build their own investment groups and do it that way. And try to employ other people with disabilities, get them into the flow of things. I thought once I start making a profit, that I would do a scholarship fund so that somebody who's got a disability, who's low income, can get a free access to your class. Because they could even do the Turo if they didn't want to.
Yes, you have some. I mean, you just have some wonderful ideas, and I can see all of these things happening. I really can, especially when you put them in and down as goals, and you kind of make them a plan. Like I said, one of the ideas that we said is we're wanting, we're going to do multifamily, we're going to do an apartment complex. And so of course, making some of those units short-term rentals, and then taking it a step further, making some of those units visitable. That just kind of fit into what I already was doing. When you came with that idea, I absolutely loved it. And so the scholarship and some of those other things and a fund, I think that's just the next natural progression, especially as you on your journey are looking at properties, getting better at looking at properties. So let's talk about that whole thing, because I think you said something, you skipped over it real fast, and people are going to want to hear about this. The process of finding properties. There's a saying I have, you have to kiss a few frogs. Like you're just not going to find your first property you go look at. You're like, yeah, this is it, I'm buying it. It usually does take looking at properties more and more to get better at it. So talk about your journey with looking at properties and looking at real estate. What's that been like?
That's kind of complicated for me because, as we said, most single family homes are not accessible. So I have to have somebody that I can trust to go in there and take a video of it, take pictures of it. I got to be smart enough to answer ask the right questions. The good thing about starting with the people that I loved in Oklahoma was that it took me a while to find realtors that I could really trust. There were a couple of frogs, like you say. But then being able to have them go as well and take a look at it and give me the impression that they had when they went there. I mean, it took, I can't even remember, it took like months and months to be able to find what they needed that would fit them. And then when the opportunity opened up, I mean, I got for $176,000, I got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath that has huge living spaces so that generations of their family can live together. And that's, I love it. I mean, it was just in the middle of nowhere. Wagner, Oklahoma. It's Wagner, but that's compared to Austin, that's like a teeny little tiny space. Love you, Wagner. Nobody send hate now.
Austin is a huge city. So let's bring KJ, let's bring you into the conversation. So you're there. All right. In Austin, Texas. You left Orlando. It's funny. You were in Virginia when I met you. You flew to Orlando. Now I got you flying to Texas and all over to where our students are. So let's bring you into conversation. How has it been to literally be able to go to one of your students and see their real estate, meet them in person? Talk to me about that experience. How's that been for you for a coach? So
it's been fun to really start to go see where my students, their playground, if you will, and see the knowledge that we've been able to help them and gain, and not only just help them know the know-how, like the steps, but honestly straight out see how that takes them to the next level, to the point where they're teaching me things about cities that I just know the general gist of. For example, the Longhorns being here, I've known them since I was yay tall. But the fact that, Jen being able to tell me more about what's been going on, how students are really renting out, being able to drive around and see the different styles of home in the cluster of properties has honestly been an enjoyable process. So the fact that, we went driving around today and, some of the footage that we can show is just, honestly, it's been a fun experience to really.
Give me a little detail. Cause like I said, I used to literally live in Austin, Texas. Like I said, I was in Dallas for 7 years, but literally moved there, did some investing. Love Austin. Some fun facts about Austin. It's such a highly educated population, right? Jennifer, can you speak to this? I was surprised at how highly educated, how many people in Austin, just the capital of Texas, by the way, have college degrees and are the University of Texas is right there. So it attracts all of these really educated PhDs and great students in this medical, this awesome tech and medical field. Like talk about how awesome of a place Austin is, and why, and that's probably why the real estate in Austin has been so great.
Well, they're beautiful. We all love them, but at the same time, boy, did they make the cost of living go up. So,
I know.
So that is one thing.
Yes, Yes. So Jen, let me stop you. This is why I wish we would have met sooner. Imagine if you had properties, 5, 10 properties 15 years ago. You know what I mean? What they would be worth now. And I'm not saying that I do, but I'm just saying, like,
I know, but we got this now, and now you're going to help me get enough money to be, I don't know, having like this amazing lifestyle where I can go tell people how to fix their life too.
I'd even say this.
Austin is like little Los Angeles. Would you say? Would you feel like it is starting to get like a California?
Oh yeah. It's amazing to me how much the price of things have gone up. Like, it's really very difficult to find a house that's less than $400,000 in this market.
Correct. That's facts. You're standing on facts, Jennifer. It is so expensive. You're right. I couldn't even imagine, especially the areas, the nice, anywhere near University of Texas.
Yeah.
This place, like you said, is $500,000.
Yeah, I don't know how the students it's very difficult to find an apartment you can afford. So like for somebody with a disability on a fixed income, it's a real challenge. And, like there are so many people that are in the service industry that don't make very much money, or they started to have to do benefits for musicians because this is a place people want to go to learn their artistic craft. Right. Because it's the live music capital of the world, but it's also very difficult to be artistic and, make your bones, so to speak, to borrow a phrase from The Godfather.
I love it. So do you think one of the things that you're really going to try to get into after we do the Visitable, do you think affordable housing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've already decided that I have a real commitment to that. Like I've taken on some responsibilities with the little family that I know in Oklahoma to make their pathway a little bit easier. And I am committed. Like, I'm going to make sure that I also have units that I'll accept Section 8. And because part of the reason why I did this in the first place is because I know that there's a demand for people with disabilities. And frankly, whether you are born with a disability or you acquire one as you get older, you should have a safe, affordable place to live.
That's right.
I've always been sort of real estate adjacent because we've done a lot of work as an activist to make housing more accessible and affordable. I spent a lot of birthdays, at boring meetings over where they make policy decisions about affordable housing. And this is just, for me, it was a natural outgrowth because I know what the problems are. I may not, I'm starting out, so I don't have tons of money to throw at it yet. But as we grow and as we succeed more, I'm going to make sure that I also make a commitment to that. Like, I want to not just do just any old affordable housing, but make sure it's done right. Because I've lived in affordable housing. I'm living there now, and I know what's right and I know what's wrong from the perspective as well. And
I love it. Let's get a little controversial. And I don't usually do this, but I really want to know your opinion because I think you're just so awesome. I really do. Do you think it's more Section 8 vouchers that are needing, or do you really feel like we should just build apartment buildings and set the rent at a rate, or what are some of your ideas for affordable housing? Because I get a lot of critique about that. I do. Just being honest with you, Jennifer, you know that I'm always talking about making money. So then people think that I'm not caring, but with the high rents, you know what I mean? Because I'm the benefactor of these high rents. And so, but I do care. And so, but I don't know the answer. So I'm always interested in having these conversations. So talk to me about, what do you think is Section 8 vouchers? Do you think it's buildings and we keep the rent affordable, or anything in between? What are your ideas?
Well, I think it's a myriad of things. There's no one answer that's right. It's a menu of options that are right. From the point of teaching children, especially kids with disabilities, about financial literacy and giving them opportunity, like apprenticeships. A lot of times when you have a disability, I don't know what people are thinking, but you don't see a lot of young people with disabilities being groomed for any type of success, let alone business or not. So if we can do more to groom younger people with disabilities to be able to be more financially successful and navigate the issues that come up with needing services and supports, if we can figure out a model that puts people to work when they're younger and can teach them about being business owners, then you can address poverty that way. We can also just be aware that when you're in your 70s and you've lived your life and you become disabled, that the philosophy of pull yourself up by your bootstraps might not work, because you've worked all your life and you need to have a safe place to rest and enjoy life. And being successful doesn't always mean a bank account with a lot of money in it. Being successful is being a good person who is part of the tapestry of your community. And I want the woman who is my home health worker or was my home health worker for 4 years, she just sustained an injury and isn't able to work. I want her to be safe as she heals. I want her to have options, and she worked hard all of her life. And that's part of the thing that I love about being able to help them in Oklahoma is, like I said, they're a generational family that's living together, safe and happy. The kids have it hard. Those are the kinds of things that make life worth living.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And so if I'm hearing you correctly, obviously the first thing is kind of educating our kids, and then even taking, I would say, a more specific focus on children with disabilities, kind of not counting them out and giving them that financial literacy as well, and entrepreneurship and all of that. You're right. You're right. I think we're talking to kids more about financial literacy and education and being an entrepreneur and starting a business, all that. But you're right. I think there's a group that we kind of carve out and don't necessarily speak those things to. And there's a myriad of reasons, obviously, not just that maybe we think, as society, we may think that they're not going to understand. But then, too, we're like, OK, you already have all of these obstacles. Let's not, add the risk and high rates of failure, that comes with starting a business.
That's true. But,
because we know, right?
Well, there's risk in everything, and they're at risk. That part. We don't teach them. So why not give them the tools to make their own choices? Maybe owning a business isn't right for everybody, but maybe the financial skills that we can teach will make them better at being able to hold down a job and make good financial choices, so that as they get older, they have supports.
I agree. Okay, so let's go back to this affordable housing thing, because you touched upon it, but I really want to go there. I really want to hear your opinion on this. I'm going to press you on this. I want to hear your opinion. Do you think, you said you lived in affordable housing? Obviously, I feel like I have, and to some extent, I know that I did. At one point, I was living in a 1-bedroom with 3 kids. So I know that was, rent controlled or something. But I notice a lot of people aren't doing the Section 8 voucher. So I really wanted you to speak to that. Do you feel like that's more of an initiative we should be pumping more awareness around? Do you think as entrepreneurs and real estate investors, we should be going more towards Section 8? Kind of like,
absolutely. Like, it could be something as simple as more investors actually accepting Section 8 vouchers.
That's a good point.
Most of the time when people have vouchers, it takes forever to find a place that will accept it. And then there's also so much more demand than there is the actual vouchers. Like, it's terrifying for people. A lot of times when people get institutionalized against their will in a nursing home or something, it's because they can't find a place that they can afford or access. So we have to change that. And we do have the ability to do that. And that's what's so exciting about what we're doing. We're not just going to, hopefully we'll be able to do a lot of really good things. And as it becomes more profitable and as people understand better what we're doing and they get more involved, the more profit that we make, the more we can set aside so that we can say to a veteran who has a disability, who might have, come up with a brain injury or something, who can't go to work because they have to heal, just set aside a unit so that we can just use it for tax write-off and let them live in it. And
I agree. I love this point. I absolutely love this point. Although you probably could hear videos of me almost, one of the targets for property problems is sometimes Section 8. I'll literally tell some students, because Section 8 landlords are very in and out. It's a lot of turnover. You know what I mean? A person will put their property on Section 8, and by the time it's time to renew the lease and things like that, they're not wanting to deal with all of the regulations. And so it's this hard, place I have to be in. I understand as an entrepreneur making money, and then the love of wanting to help people have affordable housing. That's a hard one.
Well, the good thing that's happening now is that there are groups that are taking on some of the administrative responsibilities so that entrepreneurs don't have to do that. Like,
I love that. Jennifer, and that's funny. That's what was needed or probably missing from that part of investing in Section 8 properties, because it can be very profitable. But as a real estate entrepreneur, you already have so many things on your plate. Dealing with that administrative and bureaucratic stuff with the Section 8 sometimes becomes a little bit overwhelming for an investor. And so the love and the want to help goes away by the burden.
Well, that could be one of the next steps for Noelle Randall Coaching, is that we start bringing in administrators, the nerds who like the administrative stuff.
Yes.
And get them into your program so that you can even teach.
I love it. I would love to find a way, like you said, and if we all are doing our part. Noelle is a proponent of, I cannot save the world. I love everybody. I tell you, I can't mentor everyone. I can't coach everyone. I can mentor certain, just we like connect. There's a connection. There's something, you know what I mean? And then I usually, that's how it works. But when it comes to Section 8 and affordable housing, I do feel that we can all do our part. You know what I mean? And so instead of one group taking on Section 8, what if all of these different investors, if we do have some Section 8 in our portfolios?
Yeah. Just like the Airbnb, you don't do everything Airbnb, but you have a menu of options. And so you can just have that folded into the community. There are projects here that we've advocated for that have both short-term rental and long-term rental, and they accept Section 8 and essentially run as a hotel in other sections of the property. So all kinds of really cool things you can do. And there are people that like doing that administrative stuff. We just have to find where they are and fold them in. Right.
Or even get trained ourselves. A lot of it probably, like I said, I'm saying burden, but it's just lack of practice, lack of knowledge. If you're not good at something, you usually just stay away from it. So I love it. I'm glad you gave your real opinion. I'm telling you, that's so valuable to me, because I sometimes lose how important affordable housing is and putting that back into the plan. So KJ, bringing you back into the conversation again. So you've been in beautiful Dallas, Austin, Texas. I'll say Dallas. You've been in Austin with Jennifer. What have you guys been doing?
So, to be honest, when I first got here, I picked up a car on Toro, went to my Airbnb. I drove around. Literally, I got in the car. I got into Austin around 4 p.m. CST, so 5 p.m. your time. And so as soon as I was able to check into my Airbnb, I dropped off my stuff and just drove around town. I drove through, downtown Austin, and was just like, oh, this is what Austin is looking like. Then, talking with my wife who has my location, she was just like, hey, you're near the University of Texas? And all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, that's what these buildings, God. And it was just mind blowing. I was like, oh, this is a lot bigger. And then I just thought it was a downtown, I'm also used to. So I'm used to, like Orlando, downtown Kissimmee and Tampa, they're just cities. But to really kind of see, this is not just a downtown, this is a college downtown. And I've started to look around the outskirts of the city and, the suburbs, and seeing single family homes to apartment complexes to condos, and seeing this mix of homes that really see, just different. And I wanted to speak on, the affordable housing. I was joking with my wife about, seeing some of these apartments. I saw a whole complex running a special where I looked it up. they have studios for $900 a month. And I was like, at $900 a month for a studio, being so close to University of Texas, I was this close to just jumping in. Like, you know what? Let me get a couple properties out here, get them to the students, and really, again, just expand my business. And it was, and that's why it was unique that you guys are talking about affordable housing. I do see some out here. It's just, you really gotta just put it into your plans. And we know how to make it work. But for everyone who's listening, it works. There are products out here where you can facilitate what you're trying to do. So.
Austin honestly is a great, it's hard because like I said, and Jennifer's gonna, I'm gonna have you come in on this one, Jennifer. So like I said, I was there 2018, and I had a friend of mine, he owned a mortgage company. And at the time, I think he had like 52 rentals, and most of them he had gotten kind of the same way that we do. You send out the letters, are you behind on your payment? And he would do them subject to, and then he would turn them into rental properties. And that's how he had his whole portfolio all throughout like the Austin area and in some of the suburbs. And what made that so amazing was Austin, from 2018, to see how much the properties were going up in value. So there was so much money to be made, and so much money has been made investing in real estate in Austin. It's one of the best markets in Texas. And that's because obviously it's the capital. Dallas is really good, but Austin, of course, has this almost different culture. Would you say that? Would you kind of, do you think that? I think Austin just has a different culture than everywhere else in Texas. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
Jennifer?
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot of artistic stuff going on here, a lot of music, a lot of visual arts, a lot of performing arts. A lot of movies had been made here for a while.
Yes.
That was pre-COVID, I think, during its heyday. But yeah, this place is huge, it's vibrant, it's beautiful. I love Austin. I was born here, bred here. I love it here. But it is crazy expensive for a lot of people. And it's also got kind of a nomadic community because you've got the students and they come and they go, and the arts community, they kind of are a little bit nomadic. And so there are opportunities for Airbnb, especially because of South by Southwest. For those few crazy days, you can make an entire annual income just from that. And
yes, absolutely. Yes, exactly. Yeah, Austin has, like I said, with the students, the medical community, there's a lot of traveling nurses. Pretty much why I like Austin, why I'm saying it's one of the best real estate markets this period. It checks every box. It has a strong medical community, strong technology and biomedical community. It has students, so you can do student housing. It has lots of travel, lots of IT people come there and do projects, and then just the tourism. It's the capital. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So just so many different things going on, which makes it a great, great place to live. And it does have a great migration. A lot more people are moving in to Austin. A lot of people are moving there.
Yeah, they say it's 200 a day.
Yeah.
It's that way for a while. It may be increased. I don't know since COVID what that did to it. Kind of probably has a blip and then it's going back up now.
Yeah. I would say so, especially with again some great medical stuff, you know what I mean, with the medical technology and things that are going there. So what else did you see while you were kind of, back to you, KJ, when you were driving through the city? Tell me some other things that you saw or that struck you as like, wow, this is a great real estate market. South Congress Ave,
that whole little section out there was crazy. It felt out of place, but not out of place. It felt like, going through the downtown feeling real modern and new, and then South Congress Ave feeling very artistic and just Austin, if you will. It's like it's its own feel. And just seeing that this is what a lot of people really come out to Austin for. Not if you're not here for the medical and the technology, you really are on that artistic side and music side. You're going to South Congress Ave to. It is. It's a great place to visit. The rivers, the canoeing. I've done. What's that thing where you're on the paddle boats? And you stand on it. Paddle boats.
No, she's talking about the one that you stand on. It's like a surfboard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paddle.
Yeah, they do a lot of that, and then the In the rivers. What is it? In the rivers? Yeah. Is it a river?
Yeah. Well, it's a river, but they call it Ladybird Lake now. And
I
had to tell KJ about the bats. He didn't know about the bats underneath Congress Bridge in the summertime. How we've got millions of bats that migrate to Austin. They're going on their way to Mexico for the winter. And there's millions of bats that come through, and people actually go stand out on the bridge and watch them fly out at night during, the sunset. It's really a lot of fun and weird.
It is. KJ, you should definitely go see that. You really should. Okay. That she's right. That is a feat. KJ, you should definitely go see that. I'm not saying that jokingly. I'm saying and video that.
Well,
so what else are you two going to do? What is Jennifer and KJ going to do?
You got to do that at summertime, but they actually have people that like dress up as bats and people that have those glow sticks and stuff.
Yes, I've seen that. I didn't know what time of the year that was. Okay, you're okay. Yeah, I have seen people that I thought I didn't even. You're right. That would be during migration season. It wouldn't be now.
Yeah, they're asleep now. They're
so what are you two going to be able to go do?
So after this, just go explore a little more. She's just going to show me around town, really get that insight. You know what? Since Noel, I'm a foodie, probably going to give me some good Austin food next.
Yeah, I'm fixing to introduce him to some enchiladas.
All right, that's Tex-Mex. That's right.
So
Jennifer, don't make him move there. Don't feed him too well.
I'm trying not to feed him too well, but I got him like all 3 courses.
See, you got to travel a little more, Noel.
Yeah, you missed out. But I promise I'll get you some good food next time. You come.
Okay, I will be there. I definitely will. No, I love. So thank you so much, Jennifer and KJ. This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you for sharing so much, being vulnerable with us, Jennifer, telling us your real story. I'm looking forward to seeing all of the videos, and we'll probably clip some of those videos in from what you guys are doing, your property, your plans, your goals. But you've been amazing. I love to continue supporting you, and we're us working together and showing people what we're doing, because I think that's what really opens up people to knowing that they can do it too. When they say, okay, we're real people, we're really doing things. Everything is not strawberry and sunshine, but things are good, and you can make a lot of money and have a great life that you want.
Yeah. And it all came from watching you on YouTube. I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do with a broken wheelchair, and it's in the middle of COVID. What the heck do I do now? And
look what you found.
And boom, it came, and it's like, well, that sounds easy. You broke it down into simple steps that I was like, I could do that. I can do a lot of things. I can do that. And that's how it happened. And then
I love it. I can see you teaching classes, and we'll fly more people to you so they can learn from you and see your stuff, Jennifer.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that I can do to help people, I'll be happy to do it. And anything that I can do to help you grow the classes too, I'm happy to do it. Like if you want to go around and talk about visitability, and when we start the projects going, if we want to go different places to teach people about it, I'm happy to do that. You just tell me when and where.
Okay, I'll count you in. Yes. I know people are going to love to meet you. So sweet. We're going to make sure that you can visit everywhere.
Yeah.
We're going to make it where Jennifer can visit.
I'm coming to see you next.
That's right. I'll be here.
Did you know that 2/3 of students who cannot read proficiently by the end of 4th grade will end up in jail or on welfare? The 𝗚 Foundation believes it's time to change this narrative. Education is the key, and literacy is the doorway to a brighter future. Hi, I'm Noelle Randall, real estate millionaire, entrepreneur, mentor, speaker, YouTube star, mom of 7, and so much more. And literacy has literally transformed my life. And together, we're on a mission to transform the lives of children everywhere. In the United States alone, 58% of 4th grade students do not read at a proficient level, but we can rewrite this story. For just $50, you can be a hero in a child's story. Donate today and receive our exclusive This Shirt Buys Books t-shirt and both 𝗚 books to give to a child. It's not just a shirt, it's a lifeline to literacy. And the numbers show it. Every dollar donated has a direct impact on improving literacy rates. Studies prove that children who read at grade level by the end of the third grade are 4 times more likely to graduate from high school. Join us on this vital mission. Your $50 donation helps provide books, resources, and literacy programs for children who need it most. Let's rewrite the story for these children. Donate $50, wear the shirt, give the books away as a gift, and be a champion for literacy. The Marley Sims Foundation, transforming lives, one book at a time. Donate now.